Because of the NSFAS stance and what the Minister was saying today, many first students, I understand, for a long while haven't known if they will get funding. That has caused a huge uncertainty for them as well as for the universities. What is the situation right now?
Thanks. Thank you for that. So if you take Wits University, for example, we would obviously welcome any additional funding from NSFAS, from the public sector, from government or the private sector. However, at Wits University, we have a large number of students who fall into the missing middle, for example. So NSFAS covers students who come from households who earn 650,000 Rand or less. And basically, we have students in the missing middle category who need to be funded. Now, at Wits, we've got about 35,000 out of our 37,000 students who've already registered. The other 2,000 students are likely to register late in the year, July and September. So the majority of students at Wits have registered, but we would welcome the use of any additional funding for students.
But what is the issue for, because NSFAS could fund returning students, but not new students. What is the situation for new students and what happens now that there's been an extension of registrations?
Yes, so we have extended registration for the next 2 weeks, but Wits has done something slightly different, and that's in that if we knew that students did qualify for NSFAS, etc., we have basically encouraged them to apply. Wits has created two funds, the Wits Hardship Fund and the Wits COVID-19 Relief Fund. Now, there's 10 million Rand in each of those funds, and we're making those funds available to students who've experienced hardship and who may not have had the funding to register for the academic year. So while we have extended registration periods to the 12th of March for postgrads and the 19th of March for undergraduate students, we have asked students who experience difficulty with registration to apply for funding from the Wits Hardship Fund and from the Wits COVID-19 Relief Fund. In this way, students are already in the system and ready to go. So we started with our academic program today, the 8th of March, and we can say that we've had over 10,000 students or so logging on to our online programs. We'll be going online for the next 6 months or so. What we're sorting out now, just some of the students who still need access to devices. We have made provision for data for them, etc.
So Ms. Patel, are you saying that nobody's been left out because of the NSFAS funding issue, basically?
No, what I'm saying is that what we've done is try to create a little bridge
alternatives.
So that students could register. But if students do qualify for NSFAS and that funding comes in, we'll obviously welcome it. Then this will free up the funding that we have then for other students. So we would welcome any additional funding from NSFAS. What that means is that the funding that we've got currently can then be redirected to students in the missing middle and students who need it. Right. We've registered the majority of our first year students already and our returning students. We do still have some students who have historical debt. And that's problematic. So that's people who've accumulated debt over the years. We're allowing students who owe 120,000 Rand or less to register at Wits. 120,000 Rand with historical debt to apply for funding from the Hardship Fund. Those who owe 10,000 Rand or less to register at Wits. We've made a few other concessions as well. We're giving about 100 million Rand in scholarships and bursaries to our students this year. And then out of our 37,000 students, about 27,000 are on some form of financial aid scholarship or bursary.
All right. So it sounds like you really are doing what is possible. Overall, I mean, we've been reporting on universities receiving floods of applications for limited places. What is the situation at Wits? How many applications versus how many will get in? How many will be left out?
So let me just add on to your last comment first that, yes, we're doing the best that we can with the resources we have, but there's always a need for more. Sure. So our students, yes, they may have managed to register some of them, but they will need funding for the remainder of the year. So we would welcome any additional funding from any sector. In terms of applications, we've had about 70,000 applications for about 5,000 spaces. That means we're turning away 65,000 people who won't make it into Wits. What we really do need is good quality higher education institutions, more good quality universities, and definitely more good quality TVET colleges, etc. So I think as far as the higher education entire sector is concerned, we definitely need more universities, more TVET colleges with quality lecturers and academics, good infrastructure, and good learning resources for students.
So sad for those students. What you're saying is there have to be good alternatives if Wits is their first choice, but they don't get in.
Absolutely. So, like I said, out of the 70,000, we can only take 5,000. If you look at medicine, for example, we've got about 260 places or so. We get over 10,000 applications for 260 spaces every year. So people then do move on to another program or so, but there's definitely a need for better, good quality higher education institutions in the country.
All right, I wish we could take this further. We can talk about the need to expand capacity as well in future, but thank you for explaining all those financial issues. That was a spokesperson for Wits University, Shirona Patel.